Welcome to the role of psychological concepts in coaching, where the realms of psychology and coaching unite. I am Nancy Al-Hayari, your guide on this journey, brought to you by the passionate teams at Trace and Thrive Through Coaching. We're dedicated to equipping coaches like you with the cutting-edge evidence-based strategies to enhance your practice and impact. From emotional intelligence to neurodiversity, each episode is a deep dive into the tools and techniques that can transform your coaching and your clients' lives. Let's embark on this journey together, one insight at a time. Have you ever faced a challenge so daunting you weren't sure you would overcome it? Welcome to a new episode of the role of psychological concepts in coaching, where today we're exploring the power of resilience, a quality that can turn life's greatest challenges into opportunities for growth. We're joined here by Huda Murad, a resilience and emotional intelligence coach, whose remarkable journey has taken her from the high-pressure environment of intensive care nursing to empowering communities and individuals across the globe. Huda's passion for helping others, especially women and children facing unique challenges, has led her to co-author training manuals on reproductive health and wellness and become a well-known motivational speaker. Today, Huda will share her insights on cultivating a resilient mindset through optimism, kindness, and vulnerability. Whether you're a coach looking to enhance your practice or someone keen on personal development, this episode promises to equip you with strategies to face life challenges with grace and strength. So let's get it. Hello, Huda, and thank you for joining us on what promises to be an inspiring journey into the heart of resilience.
Hello, Nancy. It's my pleasure to be amongst you all.
Awesome. Huda, could you begin by sharing with us what resilience is and how it's viewed from a psychological perspective?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I'm very much looking forward for this episode, and I was very enthusiastic, and now I'm super enthusiastic about it because that is a subject that is very close to my heart. And resilience by itself, I would just say that it is an art, actually. An art, how we paint our life. And starting with the history, before we start with the psychology, starting with the history of resilience, it's not like long time ago that the concept of resilience came to our life, though we have experienced it ever since first manhood. So it started with, like in the 20th century, and it just took its growth over the years until it is now subspecialization. So having said that, we would know that resilience, it's a multifaceted concept. And in psychology, it refers to the capacity of an individual to adapt positively to trauma or significant stress or adversity. It involves the ability, they would always say bounce back, but I'd rather use the word bounce forward. So it really involves the ability to bounce forward from challenges and at the same time recover emotionally and being well and continue functioning effectively. So resilience has main three components. It's about emotional well-being, it's about being connected well, and how are you going to continue to function in your maximum capacity? And having said that, I would just like to ask anyone who's listening to us, have you ever remember your life, try to remember any time of your life or even your whole life without facing trauma, without facing challenges, without going through the experience of having, adversity issues? Do you recall anyone who hasn't gone through this? And what was the reaction based on that? Do you see differences between people, someone who is going through grief and come out from it very smoothly, and another one stay years and still have challenges to come out from it? Or they change 180 degrees, to better, to worse? So we see, as long as life is continuing and we are in this journey, we are by default exposed to many challenges on a day-to-day basis and on unexpected circumstances. Like, for example, COVID, it's an unexpected one. Yet going to work and having stress and challenges at work, it's an expected one. Going to a jam traffic is an expected one. So there are expected and there are non-expected or daily and exceptional. But yet, how do we react to that? And that is the whole art of resilience, and how it is evolving more and more and more, the concept into the human nature. Thinking of resilience, it's a journey by itself.
That's brilliant, Huda. Your definition of resilience as bouncing forward than simply just saying bouncing back really struck a chord with me, because it reminded me of that song lyric, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I always thought it too simple because, even stone can break under pressure. And recently, social media have taken to change it to what doesn't kill you gives you trauma, and that's maybe a little bit on the negative side. So reflecting what you've just shared, perhaps it's more fitting to say what doesn't kill you builds your resilience. Especially since, as you just pointed out, that everyone at some point in their lives will face challenges. And Huda, that leads me to wonder, how do you differentiate resilience from similar concepts like mental toughness or grit?
Yeah, amazing point. I mean, thank you, Nancy, for bringing up, this issue of resilience versus mental toughness versus positive thinking even. How much are we using the word positive thinking? So much. I mean, it's becoming part of our regular language, daily language even. We said that it is an art, and any piece of art has many elements to come with a perfect piece of art. And the same thing, the name of the piece of art is resilience. And the elements that goes into it are mental toughness, positive thinking, agility. So it is not like either or, they are all connected with each other. So as the person will become more resilient and go through this journey of life. So let's go into specific definitions. Resilience is the ability just to bounce forward and adapt in the face of challenges. It emphasizes the capacity how the person can endure, recover, and thrive despite any adversities. So it involves 3 areas: emotional strength, adaptability, and how the person can navigate life's ups and downs. But mental toughness, it is the ability to stay focused. So if I am under pressure and I have a task to finish, and no matter what, I stay focused and determined to perform well under any competitive situation, and I succeed in that, that is mental toughness. So that is a part of resiliency, but that's purely mental toughness. However, positive thinking, it is having the element of optimism. So as if we are like making a dish or something, and the dish name is resilience. So you put the spice of mental toughness and you put the spice of positive thinking and any other, element as well. So positive thinking is just having the optimistic outlook. And if we're going just to go back and say, okay, but I know so many people that have positive thinking and they look so resilient. But the trick is to ask, are they moving forward? Are they achieving what they want? Or they just keep looking at the positive side without being able to move forward? How many of us, we really practice positive thinking and we have a positive outlook, but we keep saying we are continuously going into circles. We are not being able to move forward. So when we say that, that means we are just practicing optimism, which is hope, and which is a very critical element for resiliency. However, it is not enough. And mental toughness is the same thing. It's just focused on this task to be finished. But resiliency is a habit. It's who we become in our life journey, no matter what. And the element of continuous learning from the experience is always there, even through the experience, through the challenge. I look at options by learning new skills, by learning new way of thinking, by learning new approaches. So it does not stop on just the attitude and the mindset. As well, it's a behavioral reaction towards the situations.
Thank you, Huda. Considering the perspective you've just shared on resilience and how it's not just one ingredient, that it is actually a combination of ingredients, two of which are the mental toughness and positive thinking, and how it's not just about recovery, but it's about bouncing forward and taking proactive steps. I'm curious about its importance for coaching, how it is important for coaches to understand this concept and integrate it into their coaching practices.
Yeah, I would say in 2023, especially after COVID, we have witnessed an increased number of services offered by coaches. So many individuals went into coaching business and offering the service, and the demand as well is very high. But what differentiates a coach from another one? What makes one make a difference in another person's life? If we're going to really pause and practice the art of pausing and look at it from a distance, zoom out and just look at the whole picture, we can really notice that the more the coach is practicing resilience and knows about resilience, the more they can serve the client to reach where they want to reach, achieve their goals, and become resilient. So if we are going to take some elements of that, I would just go back and go to the previous discussion just a few minutes ago about the elements or the spices that we put on the dish, and the dish called resilience, and the spices are like positive thinking and mental toughness. So if we want to add grit to it, and grit is it's all about passion and perseverance and long-term goals. Isn't passion one of the main elements of coaching? And isn't passion the main elements of coaches to bring out into the coachee, into the client, from the client, within the client? Perseverance. If a client doesn't want to move forward, doesn't have the perseverance, doesn't know how to cultivate perseverance, how would the coach coach? That would be a big challenge. So having the coach mastering this, they will be able as well to guide and walk the talk with the client. One of the things of resiliency, to be able to achieve it and excel in it, you need more and more and more of being mindful, being fully present in the moment. So the person, when they face a challenge, they can really practice the art of pausing, reflect back, and look at the options, and then take a decision. That by itself is a skill in the coaches, and that is as well a skill that they will share and empower the client with. Let's talk about, for example, developing emotional intelligence. It's part of resiliency. Now, emotional intelligence, by definition, it's about aligning thoughts and feelings. And the more they are aligned, and the more the person have a higher emotional intelligence rate, and at the same time, their actions are more congruent. So becoming resilient, you need to dive into your emotions. You cannot suppress them, because otherwise it will be mental toughness. You really need to go into the iceberg. What's underneath the iceberg? Dive into that. Keep asking the what if and the what if and the what if, so as instead of seeing things from this perspective, the coachee can look at it from another perspective. Let's just metaphorically speaking, Nancy. Let's say I would just invite all audience now and yourself to look around you and look for anything that has the color white, and just look at it and start counting the color white. And let's pause for like few seconds and go ahead and look around. Okay, so now that you have counted the color white, I would invite you to tell me about how many blue colors have you seen? And your mind will go, wow, what? Blue colors? Now, consciously, you can go and look for the blue colors now, and you will find blue colors. But when you were looking at the white, you did not see the blue, though it was there. So looking for something, focusing on just one thing, that doesn't mean other options are not there. And that is resilience. That is the ability of the emotional intelligence to dive in and kick into. And that will bring you more and more of your resiliency, which is be curious to learn more, be curious to get more into the options that you have. Practice the art of pausing. And that will enable you to go with to foster a growth mindset. And when you have a growth mindset, it emphasizes the concept of growth through challenges, because the mind always wants to protect us. So if there is on your left side party and on your right side there is a lion, you will run, the person automatically will run away because they see the danger from the lion and they are not attracted to go to the party. And that is what the mind is trained to do. So what we need to do is pause and train the mind to really make the right decision and go for what you need to do at that time rather than automatic reaction. And that is resiliency, but it will not be there. We will not get there before we get more into seeing, visualize the positivity of it, encourage self-compassion, and be kind to ourselves and say it's okay, have a problem-solving skills, connect with people. Social connection is very important because it gives security. There are so many elements for resiliency, starting that the coach has to be resilient and being aware of it, and start taking the journey with the client bit by bit. And all the sessions would be towards this, having the agreement of working on all these issues so as, sustainability can be achieved as well.
Thank you, Huda. Reflecting what you've shared, I would say that fostering resilience is really important and vital for coaches, both in their personal and professional growth. And from what you've said, it clearly aligns closely with the core competencies and the skills of coaching, such as evoking awareness, maintaining presence, regulating our emotions, and so on. And asking these powerful questions, we're not just encouraging clients to look beneath the icebergs, but we're also inviting them to remain curious about their own emotions, reactions, and their learning journey.
Yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful the way you stated that. I'd like to have like a minute just to add on it a few things. For the coaches, the importance of them becoming resilient beyond what they're gonna impact the coachee is the more the coach is resilient, the more they practice self-reflection. The more the coach is resilient, the more they prioritize their self-care. The more they are resilient, the more they have peer discussion about issues and cases. They are able to establish boundaries. They continue learning. They build a support network. Of course, they practice emotional intelligence and they practice mindfulness. So they do not reach burnout. They know not to reach burnout because it's very easy to reach burnout if they don't do that. I would say the other word for resiliency is flexibility, is adaptability, is like a tree, metaphorically speaking. A tree, no matter what the season comes, winter, summer, autumn, spring, changes the leaves, it changes the color, sometimes the structure. However, it's grass-rooted. It bends, but it does not break. And that's what resilience does for any human being. It increases flexibility and adaptability. That's what the coach needs, because they are going to face diversity of coachee, and there are challenges with the clients that if the coach doesn't or minimize doing self-reflection and having realistic goals and doing self-care and putting a downtime for themselves, have always cultivating growth mindset, their journey is going to be quite challenging with the clients.
Awesome, Huda. With that understanding of resilience's importance in coaching, are there any specific strategies or practices you'd recommend for coaches? Something that they can use not only to build their own resilience, but also to support their clients in developing their own resilience?
Well, to start with, the ABC of coaching is goal setting and achievement. The more realistic and achievable goals with the client are set, this is a very strong pillar for the journey. But there is analysis of the strength of the client. What are the strengths and what are the challenges with the client? The more they are clear, the more things would be highlighting the role of each one of them. There is, for example, mindfulness and relaxation techniques. The coach can always start with mindfulness and relaxation technique, empower the client with the mindfulness and relaxation technique. And by the way, when we talk about mindfulness and relaxation technique, I'm not talking about the typical, let's meditate and let's breathe, because here comes the art. And this is one of the effective ways for coaches to help their clients is to understand. When they understand their strength, they would know, for example, this client is a visual one. This one is a more of a written one. This one is more of a dynamic one. So visual one, we can take them with meditation. Someone who likes written, they can journal. They can, with the dynamic one, we can advise them to do some yoga or exercises or jump or laugh. So there are so many stress management strategies and mindfulness and relaxation technique that the more the coach knows about them and the importance and the impact that they will add, the more it's going to add value. Encourage self-compassion. A client would really, really, really appreciate the coach, and they will be empowered when they know how to do, and that it is okay to do self-compassion, to practice self-compassion. It's very powerful. One of the very effective ways, explore personal values. How often do we explore our personal values, or someone who will help us to explore values? It's not only for the client, it's as well for the coach to learn more about the client, so as they can appreciate the diversity and that they can and be cultural sensitive. Talk about allowing the client to reflect back on the session. That is empowering resiliency. So there are, the list is endless, Nancy, but I would as well add to it is, it's not about the coaching style and what they do within the coaches. It goes beyond this. It's a holistic approach. Resiliency is a holistic approach. When we check on the client's sleeping patterns and how good do they sleep, about their nutrition and how much sugar do they eat, and all of these factors and the exercises and their social network, that's a holistic approach, because all of them, they talk to each other in the body and the mind and the spirit, and it will affect their decision to continue through resiliency, because it is not a one-day thing. It is not like a magic one thing. It's not a quick fix thing. It's a journey. It's a journey that has an ups and downs, and it's as if you're going up the hill, and the focus is not to reach at the cliff. The focus is, how am I gonna get up there? The journey itself, that is the challenge of it, much more of just reaching the top.
Thank you, Huda, and I totally agree with you. Building resilience is a journey, and it's not just one stop. So, Huda, following this, could you recommend one tool or exercise to our audience that they can use and integrate into their daily lives to help build their resilience?
That is a tough question. That's a very tough question, actually, Nancy, because there are more than one tool. And if I may, I would say what I use every day. However, if you allow me, I would just mention a little bit extra things so as the audience can like the leverage to see options. So for me, I would start every day with my morning routine. And my morning routine before phone and start checking the WhatsApp and the messages or look at the clock even, or have a coffee, I would just get everything off my mind that minute. And I will practice some gratitude. Just 1-2 minutes in bed, I will just recall any gratitude that comes to me, even if it is just thank you, bed. And that gratitude, there are so many research has been done. And the latest one by Harvard, a study showed that practicing just list of 3 gratitude, no matter what they are, a day, people showed in 6 months more resiliency. For me, I start with gratitude and I would proceed with my daily journaling, get off my mind anything that crosses my mind. And the minute you hold the pen will go ahead and just write without you determine or think or plan what you want to write. And I end my day with gratitude and journaling. It's very powerful for resiliency because it clears your mind and it allows you to really think with a better clarity. And I make sure during the day I move my body and I do some physical exercises. Now, physical exercises with gratitude, with journaling, it really works on getting the amygdala and the hypothalamus and other parts of the brain that are related to reaction and are related to clarity and to memory to function better. So it is not only for me to feel better, it is to get my brain functions in a way that serves my resiliency journey, so as when a challenge or unwanted situation, whether it is minor or major, occurs in my life, it will not affect me that much, and I will learn a new skill of how to overcome it. Having said that, there are other ways as well that you can add as a routine thing, like, for example, maybe social connection. People will get really motivated and get their dopamine and serotonin. Self-compassion practices will do that. Seeking professional support. Even if I am a coach, I seek as well professional support when I want to really connect and hear myself, and in a very humble way, and very open and very vulnerable, I'd like to share it with a professional person sometimes, and that is very powerful.
Brilliant. Thank you, Huda, for sharing these exercises and tools. As we come near to the end of our conversation today, Huda, for anyone on their resilience journey, especially coaches who are looking to deepen their understandings and toolkit, is there any resources you would recommend to further explore resilience and its different practices and tools?
Yeah, Well, thank you very much for this episode. And it is such a big, big, big topic, and it's touching our lives, every single one of us. For further resources, I would just mention it according to the style. There are books, there are online courses, there are workshops, there are podcasts. On this resiliency, it's everywhere, even TED Talks, mobile apps, there are so many. However, regarding the books, The Resilience Factor by Karen Rivich and Andrew Shatte, it really gives practical techniques and scientific research to build resilience. Regarding, for example, online courses, University of Pennsylvania has an online course for resilience skills, especially in a time of uncertainty. Brené Brown talks about vulnerability, which is a very, very important ingredient for resiliency. So with Brené Brown and vulnerability, if we are not vulnerable and humble enough and be really open and put the ego aside, it is a challenge. It's very challenging to go through the journey of being resilient. So the more you are vulnerable, the more you will have practiced emotional intelligence, and then the more you are aligning your thoughts with your feelings, and then you are more, chances are you are going to make the better decisions. And that decision might be, I need to learn a new skill, and so on and so forth. And that means you are more towards the resilience journey to become who you are. Harvard Business School, they have loads of, as well, building resilience research. So they can even Google, it's free of charge, and they can get into that. Even with TED Talks, if someone doesn't want to have a podcast that is very long, they can go with 10, 15 minutes and just put in the resilience, and they can say, stress is your friend, but it's not like you are becoming stressful all the time. No, but instead of having the stress as an enemy, having it your friend and build your resilience towards it. For example, that's one of the TED Talks.
Fantastic. Thank you, Huda. Truly, it's been wonderful having you on the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And I really wish a safe journey for everyone in their resilience journey. Please remember, it is a dynamic process and it takes time. Keep checking on yourself. There are so many tools that you can assess your resiliency. They are free of charge, so many of them. 6 seconds, they have the resilience assessment as well. You can go to eq.org and see where are you in your journey and what do you need to continue your journey, if you choose that. And thank you very much, Nancy.
Thank you for joining us on the role of psychological concepts in coaching. Stay curious, stay inspired, and join us next time as we continue to explore the transformative power of psychology in coaching. Until then, keep thriving and making a difference. I am Nancy Al-Hayari on behalf of Race and Thrive Through Coaching, wishing you all the best on your coaching journey.